Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm gonna give you guys a scale update, let you guys know how I'm doing, and we're gonna talk about something that I think so many of us struggle with, and that is self-sabotage. Why do we do it? Let's get into it now. Alright guys, if you are new to my channel, thanks so much for clicking on this video. I'm the incredible shrinking Steffi, and I would love for you to subscribe to my channel, be a part of my journey, and allow me to be a part of yours. I have lost over 170 pounds from my highest weight, and I have dealt with obesity and food addiction my entire life. I created this YouTube channel 5 years ago to hold myself accountable, reach my goals, but also to inspire others to get healthy with me. I am very real, very truthful, very upfront about how hard a weight loss journey is, and we talk a lot about the mental struggle of a weight loss journey. So if that interests you, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, I have a support group on Facebook, The Shrinkables, so come join us over there, and you can follow me on social media. All of that is down below. So before we get into the video, I just want to mention real quick that my course that I've been working on, I am creating a step-by-step program for anyone looking for some extra help. This program is designed to help you lose weight, renew your mindset, and grow spiritually. It's a faith-based course, and it's going to be launched very, very soon. I have been working very hard on it, and I just pray that it is everything that you will need to be successful. Everything that I have learned over the last 5 years, I am putting it together in this program because I don't want you guys to have to go through what I went through to get here. So be on the lookout for that. I will be having a video coming out very, very soon giving you all the details of this program. All right, guys, I'm gonna give you a scale update really quick. We're just gonna get into the results. I fluctuated a lot this past week, and I ended up getting a UTI, and I was so sick. Oh my gosh, it was horrible. It was horrible. And one day I actually had goldfish crackers for dinner. Like, I mean, I wasn't on plan. I wasn't thinking about anything but the pain I was in. So I did fluctuate quite a bit this week, but at my last weigh-in, I was 200.2. So I had reached Wonderland. I got down to 198 and then kind of lost that. Kind of lost my Wonderland. And it made me think, like, what the heck is going on inside of your head? And so we're gonna get into that in a little bit because it's self-sabotage. That's what it is. So let's get into it. But my weight this morning was actually 199.1. So I am back in Wonderland, but I think it's very important that we recognize these obstacles that we face. And oh man, how many of you struggle with self-sabotage? In this video, we're gonna talk about why we self-sabotage. But I also wanna create a video, which will be my next video, signs that you self-sabotage. Because I think a lot of us do it without even realize it. We're just so used to it. It's familiar to us. And so I want to talk about why we do it in this video, but I do want to have a separate video listing the signs in case you're unaware. So stay tuned for that video coming up. So back in Wonderland, which feels really good. But when I lost it, when I lost Wonderland, and I know it's just a number. We don't define ourselves, we don't define our journey by that number on the scale. But that was a big goal of mine. A big goal was to get into Wonderland. Now, I sort of did it before. I had a scale that was completely wrong. It was like off by 8 pounds, and in a good way. Like, it was lying to me saying, hey, you're 8 pounds lighter than you really are. But when it came to like reaching goals, they weren't actually accurate. So in July of 2023, I believe it was, I did reach Wonderland, but that was on my other scale. Still was a great moment, but the last time, this past time I reached Wonderland, that was for real. So it feels even better actually being there. But that was a big goal of mine. I started to look back at my journey, and it's like, okay, every time I reach a goal that I had set for myself, I end up backtracking. Like right after, I start going in the opposite way, you know, in reverse. And it's like, it made me sit down and question myself, why? What is going on here? Why are you going in reverse right after you hit a goal? And we're going to talk about some of the specific reasons why we do this. But one of the biggest ones is fear. Fear. And it's so stupid. Like, we ask ourselves, well, how can we possibly be afraid of being thin, being healthy? You know, like, why do we have a fear of that? But it's not being healthy that we're afraid of. We have a fear of success. We have a fear of change. We have a fear of not actually being able to stay there, not being able to maintain. I know that I have dealt with all of this fear. And really, it's just that deep insecurity, like we don't actually believe that we can do it. Like we reached that goal. Awesome, we feel great, we feel on top of the world. Well, all of a sudden, my brain starts to go in panic mode. Like, what are you doing? You're not used to this. You're not used to succeeding. You don't know how to do this. This isn't normal. This isn't comfortable for you. So my brain goes into overdrive. It starts to panic, and then I start to slip. And then those old habits start to creep back in. And then we start to feel like a failure. And then we start to question, can we even do this? Why every single time I'm reaching a goal, why do I self-sabotage like that? Self-sabotage is not laziness or a lack of discipline. And it took me a while to figure that out, because every single time I would do it, I would feel like a failure. There I go, being lazy again. There I go, not being disciplined enough. But really what's going on is, like I said, our mind is in panic mode, doesn't recognize what we're doing, doesn't recognize this life that we're living, because we're starting to level up now, guys. We're starting to level up. And our brain isn't used to that. Our brain doesn't like that. And so our subconscious mind panics and tries to bring us back to what we feel is normal and what we feel is safe. And self-sabotage just comes from us returning to our comfort zone, what feels comfortable for us, what we're familiar with. And it takes time. It takes so much time to break those habits, but you have to be intentional with that time. You have to be consistent, and you have to discipline yourself to actually make an effort when you notice yourself self-sabotaging again. Whew, that was hard to say. When you notice yourself self-sabotaging. The enemy loves to whisper, you haven't changed. You're no different than you used to be. There's no way you're going to be able to do this. You're not enough. You can't do this. You are not strong enough. But God says, you are a new creation. This battle is between our old identity and our new identity. Which one are you going to let win? A lot of us have a fear of success, but why? Why are we afraid of succeeding? And I don't think it's the actual success that we're afraid of. We are afraid that we're not going to be able to maintain it. We're not going to be able to stay there, because that's when the pressure comes. And when we get so stuck in our weight loss journey and we start hitting goals, we forget to remind ourselves that there's more. There's more to it than just losing weight, than just, hitting a goal. But the thrill of reaching that goal is now gone. Like I reached Wonderland, I did it, right? Like I did it. Well, now the thrill is gone, and now the question is, now what? Anyone else chase after those dopamine kicks? We're not afraid of failure. We're afraid of success that lasts. Because once we don't have the thrill of chasing that goal anymore, it can feel really, really strange. Maintenance takes consistency. And consistency feels way less exciting than progress, than reaching goals. So we subconsciously create these problems just so we can feel that chase again, just so we can feel that high. How crazy is it that we can seriously be that self-destructive? Another reason why we self-sabotage, which this is a big one for me. Let's say you lost the weight, you reached your goals. Well, your mind hasn't caught up yet. Man, does it take a long time for your mind to catch up with your body. Years. For years, my identity was the girl who struggled with her weight. That was who I was. I was always the girl who struggled with her weight. When that starts to shift, your brain doesn't know who you are without that label. And so it resists it naturally. It's not like we want to do this. It's not like we want to ruin any progress that we've had. It's literally what we have trained our brain to do all of these years. And it is why renewing your mind is just as crucial as changing your habits. Another reason we self-sabotage is a lot of us carry this deep-rooted unworthiness. If you've ever battled with self-esteem or emotional eating, you might not fully believe that you even deserve to have the peace and freedom that success gives you. Do you even feel like you deserve it? That's why when you start to taste it, when you start to taste that freedom, you start to pull away because it's different. It feels strange. It feels weird. It feels good. Feels good hitting goals, right? But it feels weird because you're not used to it. And so you get a little bit of taste of that freedom and you start to pull away because it doesn't feel right. Almost like you're trying to prove your old story true again. But God's truth says otherwise. And we are worthy because He says so. Not because we hit a certain goal or we're a certain number on the scale. The last reason I'm going to share with you guys on why we may self-sabotage is a lack of a next vision. And so I talk a lot about, when we reach a goal, we need to celebrate it. We need to, be in the moment. We need to embrace it. We need to celebrate. We need to praise ourselves and just be proud. We need to be proud because we're going to miss it. We're going to miss our entire journey if we can't stop and celebrate every win that we have, even the small ones. But don't stop for too long. If you don't have the next goal or you don't have a vision of where you're going, it's so easy to lose that momentum. So having a next goal, whether it be a number on the scale or building muscle or deepening your faith walk or mentoring others, when you have a goal in mind, it helps you to stay anchored and purposeful. Don't let yourself drift. Yes, stop and smell the roses. Celebrate those wins, absolutely. But set your next goal. And even if you've reached your ultimate goal, there are always goals that we can make for ourselves. We are wired for growth. And so when we don't have a vision, then we drift. There may be some other reasons why we self-sabotage, and I think that I'm going to do a little bit more research on it as well, but I can definitely relate to all of these, every single reason. And it's something that we truly need to be aware of. Self-awareness is huge. And I think I miss it a lot of times. Every single time that I've reached a goal, looking back at my history, every single time I reached a big goal, I self-sabotaged. I did. Because that's what's comfortable for me. We're always going to go back. We're always going to resort back to what's comfortable. What we need to do is we need to create a new comfortable for us. We need to create a new routine. We need to create a new normal. And that takes a long time. They say once you do something for 21 days, it becomes a habit. Well, yes, I believe that. But these bad habits, they're rooted in deep. And they're tied into a lot of insecurity. And so it's taking a lot of work to break those pieces one by one to just set yourself free. But it's possible, guys. It's possible. But you got to be self-aware. You have to recognize it when it happens. Look at your life. When you start doing good and you feel like you're on fire, you feel like you're doing all the right things, you're reaching those goals and you feel on top of the world. Do you do the same thing? Do you start to slip? Do you see those old habits, start to trickle back into your life? I don't want you to believe that you're a failure just because those old habits start creeping in. That's our brain panicking. We've never lived on this level before. And so our brain is automatically going to go back to what it knows, what it's used to. And that's why it feels safer to self-sabotage than to grow. But here's the truth. God didn't call us to comfort. He called us to transformation. And so when you feel those old habits start to creep back in, you're not failing. You're leveling up. And your brain is like, what the heck? Danger, danger. I don't know what she's doing. You just keep going. You just keep going. It's not supposed to feel comfortable at first. It's not. So if you feel comfortable, chances are you're still sitting in your comfort zone. So stand back up, stretch those legs, and just keep moving. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. But like I said, I am going to be coming out with another video on self-sabotage. It's just such a huge topic, right? Like so many of us struggle with this. So there's probably going to be like a series on this. I don't know. But the next video, I do want to share signs of self-sabotage just so we can be aware. We can pinpoint it. We can recognize it when it's actually happening. So then we can do something about it. We can take control. So be on the lookout for that video. Turn on the bell for notifications if you haven't done that already, so you are notified when I upload a video. All right, guys, if you're still watching right now, I want you to comment down below, I am worthy. Say it over and over and over again. I am worthy right now, right where you are, as you are. I am worthy. Why? Because he said so. All right, guys, that's it for this video. I hope you liked it. If you found any value in it, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and join my support group on Facebook. I'll see you guys at the next video. Bye, guys.